On today's episode, we're going to be talking about dog shows. And more specifically, just this past weekend, Magda and I were at a dog show here where we live. And we kind of want to talk about it based on our perspective from outsiders who aren't there showing their dogs. And kind of like, again, what goes on with the show, what is a dog show, you know, that kind of stuff. And again, this is from, before you get angry with us for listening to this episode, this is our point of view and our perspective. And we are not showing our dog. So there are things we probably don't know that you can correct us on, but we're just kind of just quick disclaimer, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if any of the dog show people would watch a podcast because they're way too stuck up.
Welcome to The Woofy Show, the ultimate dog lover's digest. Meet your hosts, Brian and Magda, two dog lovers ready to help you be the best dog parent, unravel the mysteries of canine behavior, and keep you updated on the latest trends in the dog world. This podcast has something for everyone. Get ready for heartwarming stories, expert advice, and a lot of laughs.
And there is point number one. There's no points. This is just, you know what? We were there it was 4 days long.
Yeah.
We were there the whole time. And we were talking about it afterwards when we got back, like after the whole weekend. And like, why don't we make an episode?
Yeah.
Instead
just like
let's turn the camera on and we'll have a little rant conversation about kind of what happened, what went on, misconceptions, things we wish existed, things we don't understand.
Yeah. What could be done different with dog shows? Like why are people showing dogs?
Also, and this is just, this is based on, we've been to a few dog shows in Alberta. So this is, again, depending where you live, and you might have like a big, huge one that's crazy fancy, or the Crufts if you're in the UK. You know, we're not comparing it to that because those ones are big, they're fancy, they're televised.
That's a great first point.
Yes.
Like when you think of a dog show, like what goes on in your mind? Like what do you think of?
Well, I guess it's like that Crufts, or there's I don't know if it's Westminster or whatever. Like the fancy.
That's what I think of.
Yeah, and the names of them.
I think of red carpets, green carpets, carpets everywhere, silk and silky hair. I think of clean and glossy and just fabulous stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the reality of a dog show.
Now, those ones, those big ones are there, but that's like the top of the top. That's like comparing.
I think of a lot of money everywhere and like lights and cameras and action, and it's just like wonderful.
But you don't start there. I guess if you are ever interested in the dog show world, you do not start at something like that.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's one of the problems that people don't get into that world is they only see those big, huge ones. And it's intimidating. Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because we've been to some like okay ones, and we've been to some like, what the heck is this kind of thing? And it's like, you wouldn't even have known it was there. And two, that also could be like, oh, is this what it is? Like, this is scummy. Not scummy, but just like, this is, I don't want to do this anymore.
We can talk about one of the dog shows that we went to that was pretty like, just indoor? Like, where the hell am I? In stables, because that's where they usually are. So.
Yes. And okay, so that's point number. Okay, no, let's talk about, before we get into that, let's talk about what is a dog show.
A dog show.
From our opinion. Am I answering it first?
Go on.
Okay,
Start.
So I will answer this one first, and then you can elaborate. So a dog show is the showing of dogs. No, I'm kidding. Well, no, I'm not kidding. But so there's a few concepts of dog shows, and some of them are different than others. So I guess the main point of a dog show is the conformation. And so that is you showcasing your dog,
in a best light possible.
Yeah, in a purebred against other of the same breed to see which one is the best, which one is the best to the standards, to the breed standard, not the best as in the fastest.
Yeah.
Anything like that. It's like, here's a breed standard, which one kind of like fits that profile the best, but based on someone's opinion.
Yeah.
And each day it's a different person's opinion because there's judges, and obviously.
And you have to be judged by different people to get like the best, I guess, opinion of that dog.
And so
because if it was judged by just one person, that would be very biased,
of course. So that's like the main thing of a dog show. So a lot of them, if you look up online to find dog shows or which events go on, most of them all of them have that for the most part. Some of them only have that, but then a lot of them also have other things. So another big thing is rally obedience and regular obedience trials. So these are when people go and do rally obedience, which we had an episode talking about the different sports, and regular obedience, which is kind of like a higher level obedience. And same thing, they are doing a trial to get points and get titles and again, show off what your dog's skills are.
Yeah, so it's more than just showing of the dogs. Usually it's more of an event that happens, and you can do different things.
Well, there's different levels as well for that. You know, you start off as like novice or beginner, whatever. I think it's novice.
And a lot of people think that actually dog shows are almost like private events, which they're not.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are, I'm sure, but mostly dog shows are available for spectators to come in and, you know, have fun. It's a family event. It should be a family event where you come in.
And we'll get into that about things we think are wrong.
You can see some wonderful breeds. You can touch them. You can feel them. You can talk to people, the handlers and breeders of these dogs. And they are so happy to talk to you.
And don't just go up like a child and hands out and try to grab a dog. Like when we say touch, ask like, oh my God, can I pet your dog? I've never seen a Great Dane or a Dalmatian or
Afghan Hound or whatever.
Which is not something you see in normal people's houses with pets.
Walks an Afghan Hound.
Yeah,
I've never seen one.
Exactly.
Until I went to a dog show.
And then, so these are just some of the events. We're kind of just naming the big ones that usually kind of circle the confirmation show. So another one, again, depending on where the event's being held and if they have the room, is agility trials. So that one's a big add-on to it. And that one's a lot of fun. So everyone, if you don't know what agility is, it's the obstacle courses you see the dogs do with the tunnels and the jumps and the weave poles and all of that. And
Which
same thing.
Is so like enticing to watch.
It's so much fun to watch and cheer on, and everyone like claps out. And especially if like the dog has a little mistake, but they can still finish or whatever, you clap because it's like, and like, especially the novice ones, seeing these like little tiny
and
go ahead.
I have to add, you get to see the strangest dogs doing these obstacle courses that you would never even think would do
Chinese crested. I watched that, and this was like a well-groomed Chinese crested.
The weirdest one, it was the Basset Hound. And if anyone knows what a Basset Hound looks like, it's like a short kind of hound with long ears, and his bloody dinky was like almost literally touching the floor.
I think his like belly or stomach was like an inch off the ground.
And I was like, if he hits that thing, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah, I mean the bar was pretty much like on the ground, but it was still really funny to see.
His balls are flapping away. I'm like, oh my God.
It was so weird, but because it was a like very unordinary dog to see doing agility, which is you think of human agility, it's all about being agile.
I thought it was incredible.
But everybody was cheering when he finished, and it was like so. It was like, what is going on? But then it was like a nice accomplishment. It makes you realize
that like any dog can do these things. Well, it doesn't matter, right?
We had an episode about agility with our guest, and that's what we talked about, that any dog can do it. And so that's kind of like, at least the ones we've been to, those are the main things. Most of the other dog sports like sprinters or fast cat, I think it's called in the US, sometimes those are there. I can't think of another one. Obviously, flyball has to be its own separate thing.
Well, there's rally and rally obedience. Obedience and the rally obedience.
So those are the main add-ons of what's at a dog show. But as you were mentioning,
also you get vendors, which is why the whole purpose we were there.
We were there. Obviously, this is the Woofy Show. We own the Woofy Shop, so we sell our stuff locally here at dog shows.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're giving our perspective, because we were there all day. We were doing agility trials as well for the first time, so that was also why we were there. But it kind of just like, it's just a gathering of dog lovers. And I honestly wish one problem we can talk about is people, I wish people knew about it more.
Yeah.
And because it's like, it's cool. It's fun. You have kids, you have a dog. It doesn't matter if you don't have one of these fancy high-end designer poodles or whatever, but like it's so cool to see, to bring your kids to like go. If you have a dog, like you said, vendors, they have like tons of dog toys and treats and things for humans and 1,000,001 leashes and collars.
I wish we knew about that world before we got a dog, because it's such a great opportunity to speak to those people and to actually, because they will be able, I guess I need to start with people who show their dogs, the handlers, they're usually people, not always, but usually they're the people who breed those dogs, or they're heavily involved in that world of breeding.
Or understanding of the breed, yeah.
Usually, if you want to show your dog, you do it for the purpose of breeding.
You're right. And so there's a lot of people that they're not breeders themselves, but they want to breed their dogs, so they show to make sure they're winning, and so then they can go to breeders and be like, hey, my male dog has, won all of these things. Would you like to use him for breeding? Because again, showing dogs is expensive. All dog sports is expensive, to be honest. So if you can recuperate your costs a little bit, and some people just love the breed and they would love to have a puppy from their dog, but they don't want to go through the hassle of breeding them themselves, which is great. I would rather someone go with a professional registered breeder than trying to do it themselves, because that was our backyard breeding
So this is how you can go to these shows and you can make the connections with those people who are handling these dogs and showing the dogs. You can talk to them. Hey, I'm looking into getting one of these. Can you, this is what my lifestyle is. This is what I'm looking for. Like, do you think like this dog is a great fit for me? You can, this person can get you connected with different breeders who are reputable. Yeah. So you know for sure that the place that you get your dog from, it comes from a good bloodline. It will not have these, it's not guaranteed that it won't have any genetic problems, but it's
less likely.
It's less likely, and also it is most likely that this dog will be healthy and will have a good temperament.
Yeah, and you don't have to show your dog. If you want to get a dog from a nice breeder. You're getting a little bit off topic. We're talking about breeders right now when we should be talking about the dog show. But,
no, I know.
But the whole point of it is you can see these. And that's the thing. It's like you might want a dog and you're like, wow, they're actually way bigger than I thought they were. Maybe I don't want that. Or I've never seen that dog. That dog is perfect. I wanted a Frenchie because everybody else has one. But I like Boston Terriers now. Similar size. They look different. They're cuter. They look more fun. You know what I mean? Like those are just two I was comparing a similar size.
Yeah, and similar look as well, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. But maybe you can't find Frenchies, but Boston Terriers are good for you as well.
Boston Terriers are great.
Yeah.
They're so tiny. Exactly. I didn't realize how small they were.
And so it's things like that. And then, you always see like the pictures of like the Shih Tzus with the crazy long hair. I mean, we both own them. My Shih Tzu did not have crazy flowing hair with a ponytail. It was just
not
like
a show Shih Tzu for sure.
But it's so cool to see your regular dog or your Maltese or whatever. Now, again, not every dog show will have every breed. Depending on bigger shows will for the most likely have more than the smaller ones. And again, depending on where you live. But it's just it's a cool thing, like a Dalmatian. Do you remember the first time we saw a whole bunch of Dalmatians? I've never seen them. 101 Dalmatians.
Imagine like walking around and seeing just like 20 or 30 Dalmatians all in one place, all in line, ready to go and show. It was just incredible. It's
Great Danes. Oh my God. You'll see the Great Danes, and then you see like the smallest lady ever handling this thing.
And it's standard people will realize just how exciting it is.
It's so cool to see. It's just so interesting, and it's just there's such a cool atmosphere about it as a spectator.
Yeah.
Now again, this is as a spectator. Showing from what we've heard is a whole different world. Yeah. It's very political because it's opinion based, which we'll be diving into a little bit deeper later on. But the point of this is like dog shows are not just private events for snobby rich people, and that's it. It's a great thing. We see kids. It's a good way to get kids involved. It's a good way to and so a lot of these places,
you can get that dog fix if you want.
And a lot of places, though, they need volunteers. So, like the one we were at for the weekend, the agility trials, they need volunteers for just people to raise and lower the bars, or literally someone would have you take your leash off at the start, but the finish was on the opposite side. You would have to hand this person the leash, and they would walk it over to the other side. So it's a cool way to just be involved as well. And it's volunteering. You're already, it's just something fun to do. But it was something that we were talking on the agility episode, not me and you, but how Maple hasn't competed yet. And we didn't think she was ready. Yeah. We didn't plan on doing agility with her at this dog show, but we were there and we were watching and it was just like, wow, so many dogs are making silly mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, some dogs are doing it perfectly fine, but we were just like, this is like beginner level stuff, by the way, that we were watching. But I was like, you know what? I think she can do this.
Yeah.
And
but
so
like, you have to start
day.
somewhere.
Yeah.
And in my mind, it was like, okay, there's only jumps and tunnels. Yeah. We know for a fact she can do jumps and tunnels.
Yeah, although
and we
didn't know because we've never had her jump the actual height she was supposed to jump. So we were a bit unsure. But anyway, the whole point of it is like, if you, for the most part, you're not supposed to bring your dog. You're not allowed to bring your dogs, though, if they're not competing or showing.
Really?
So I don't think so.
I think some events you are.
I guess it just depends. Again, it is just a disclaimer. The not agility, but confirmation is meant for your purebred dogs. Agility is not. It can be for everything. So just kind of be aware of that. Because there are, as much as we said it's not for rich, snobby people, there are definitely rich, snobby people there. Mm. You'll spot them.
I mean, if you bring your doodle, you will probably get kicked out.
I mean, unless you go right to like the agility ring or something like that, then
I don't know.
But then it depends on what. So again, now this depends. So if it's a CKC here in Canada or AKC level event, a mixed breed, they have to be registered with the Canadian Kennel Club, American Kennel Club, or I guess in the UK, just the Kennel Club. Mm. So you cannot bring your doodle.
No.
Because they're not registered. So I guess keep that in mind. And depending on the show, I don't know if all dogs, this is where we don't know. I don't know if all dog shows are at that level. I think they actually have to be.
What do you mean?
Confirmation all have to be at the CKC or AKC level.
Oh.
I imagine.
I guess so, because it's the big kennel clubs, right? And that's the standards you use.
Yeah,
you use
so
the CKC standard or the AKC standard,
so then
which is the same.
If there's rally obedience,
right?
that's also at that level. If there is agility, it's also at that level. So I guess
I don't know, because there's different organizations that carry them.
I'm saying, but at a dog show, you can only have CKC or AKC, right? You can't have I guess lower level agility organization at a CKC event. I don't think so. I think you're right. Yeah. So I guess the whole point of this dog show, if it's the higher level ones, you cannot bring your mixed breed. Just because you probably will get not full on like kicked out, but maybe told to be like, you can't have your dog
because you're competing for titles, right? The CKC titles.
And there are titles at like lower levels that you probably
we say CKC, AKC. People don't even know what that is.
And I said the Canadian Kennel Club and American Kennel Club. Already mentioned those. Thanks for listening. Anyway, the whole point of that is just, it's a cool day out. Like we said, they always have like food trucks or food things there. They have, vendors. You can and some of them you might have to pay $5 or $10 to go, but like you can stay there all day.
Yeah, and just watch dogs. You can take pictures. You can touch dogs. A lot of people will actually like encourage you to touch their dog,
especially if they're younger and they want to get them used to.
We have vendors and people come up to our booth and they're literally handing their dog to you, like, just like, here.
Please, I want the desensitized themselves or these dogs. And so
I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I love dogs. I can touch the paws, touch the tail.
Yeah, so that's our broad overview of what a dog show is at our thing. So the main point of that is it's not just confirmation. It's not just showing dogs.
It's not Westminster the way.
Although I guess there's a lot of stuff. So it's especially in your local area, it's probably super low key. It's probably dirty. It's probably in a barn.
Yeah.
A lot of dog shows are where horse events are, because obviously dogs are dirty and messy with all the hair.
It was actually pretty funny how we went into like a really one of the bigger kennel clubs first.
Here, where we live.
And then after that, we were like, oh, this is so cool.
Yeah,
like,
let's try other shows.
A different one. And then so we signed up for a smaller kennel club dog show. Yeah. And we walked in and we were like, what the hell is that?
And then it's funny. So then we were like, okay. And then we did the third one we did was an even smaller one.
It was even worse.
And then it was like, oh my goodness. Is this the world honestly, people don't see?
So yeah, the second one was in like a huge kind of warehouse, it looked like.
Well, yeah. I still think they do like a lot of, horse related things, but it looks more of a, I know what you mean, like concrete floors, but warehouse.
Yeah,
style.
Concrete floors. There's no carpets. There's no glitz. There's no nothing. It's
not.
just It's literally like an empty warehouse.
Carpet runs where the dogs will walk on in the show ring, just so you know they're not walking on concrete. But anyway,
yeah.
And then the third one we went to was in like
it was like in a proper stable.
Stables. People had
it literally stunk of like horseshit.
Yeah, so the one of the terms they call is benching, and that's where you as a handler or a breeder or a groomer sets up your chair and your little table and all your stuff to like get your dog ready. And they were literally put in like all the stable sections, and it was so funny. Yeah. And then like us as vendors, we were not in these stable things. We were in between, but it was just like...
It was mortifying.
You would walk through like literally stables with like drains everywhere. Yeah. And they obviously cleaned them. It's not like hay. Full of hay. I mean, not that much, but they had the hay. That was like the bathroom. And that's where you take your dog to go to the bathroom. Is like on a bunch of piles. Hay, on these indoor ones. Anyway, so it's
not as glamorous as people think. It is.
And so exactly, that's kind of the point of us again from the looking on the outside.
It's so funny because people still dress up like for a show with all their
all the photos too.
Best Sunday gear, you know, like you would go to church or something. So they still dress like that.
Some of them have
they're in the barn running in circles with their dog. And I'm just like, this is so funny.
I know. It's like, where are we?
Yeah.
Like, what is this? But unfortunately, that's part of where you start, you know, to get like, you know, your champion or whatever. Again, we don't fully know, but you need lots of points, which means you need to go to a lot of shows unless your dog can just like clear cut win a whole thing, then you're probably good. That normally probably doesn't happen if it was your very first show. And so that's kind of, what we want to talk about. It's still cool. Those low end barn style ones is probably not the best one to take. Like that's not really quite the day out as much.
Yeah. I wouldn't call it a day out.
But not really. It's like the nicer ones that are outside in the summer.
Bigger shows are always better.
Yeah, fine. The bigger show we were at, the confirmation was on grass. The agility was on dirt. And the rally was inside in a barn, but it was a smaller venue. So they had to make do, but it was still like, you know, nice. And they have tents everywhere and all of that. Like,
I wonder what dog shows look like in the UK. I really would love to go to
one. Like an average one, not like the top of the line ones. Yeah. That's true. I'm sure we can find a YouTube video.
Like, do they happen in a park?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Do they happen in venues? Like, how do they happen? Sure. I wonder whether it's the same as it is here.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, if you're watching this and you are in the UK. For
anyone that doesn't know, dog shows were pretty much invented in Great Britain in like Victorian times.
A long time ago.
And then they slowly started to, I think in the like 19th century, they came to America. And that's how it kind of happened. Oh, okay. So they're pretty new here if you think about it.
And so that's crazy when they are pretty new. And I guess this is where we're going to talk about our opinions based on these is I think they're outdated, at least the mid-tier ones. I think the whole event, I think you agree, everything just seems a bit outdated and old school. And again, like we said, I don't know.
But the thing is, so no, I agree with you that things with dog shows seem extremely outdated, as in, it's not advertised.
It's not promoted. Like we're talking about, it's a fun family event. It's not even couples, single person, doesn't matter. If you love dogs, this is what you should be, not the dog festival market vendor show. Yeah. Like, cool, everyone knows about that.
But people just take it so incredibly seriously.
The dog shows.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's probably why too. I think it's intimidating.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you show up, and especially if you want to learn, like, it's like, cool, you can go and ask people, and people are very friendly, but everyone seems very like they're in a rush. They have somewhere to be.
Somewhere to be, something to do.
What ring am I in? Where do I need to go? My dog's not ready. Oh man, my dog never just had a poo. Great. You know,
now
whatever.
I have to wash him again. I have to groom him again.
Maybe not to that. But so that's something that, like, in the sense of it's not updated in like the age of the internet. Like, yeah, fine. You Google Crufts. they got YouTube videos with, I think they have like 500,000 subscribers, but like that's televised. That's the biggest of the biggest.
Yeah.
But these like mid-tier or these biggest ones in your state or province or area of whatever country you're in, those can be not necessarily televised, but definitely promoted. Something on the news. About it. I don't know if anyone watches the news, but
like
you know
a lot
I mean?
of these kennel clubs don't even have social media, so no one actually knows about them
unless you know about it.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, so the budget is low.
Yeah.
But how are you meant to bring the money in if people don't even know about you?
Yeah. It's like that thing where it's like you got to spend the money or do something up front, and I think maybe that was something that happened. So the one we are currently at, it got moved venues this year compared to where we went last year.
Because these events are non-profit. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Okay.
So because they're non-profit, everything that the kennel club brings in, they should be putting back into the
I think they have
events.
to pay like judges. I think there are a few like paid things like the high end, like the people that
obviously
judge
the
and all
venue and things like that.
Well, yeah.
Right?
So, but I think that's what happened. Why they had to move venues, because the one they were at, they raised the prices and they couldn't afford it. And it was such a nice venue.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if you found ways to bring in more money, to bring in those spectators.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. It's like to pay $5, to pay $10 to see
but that's
hundreds
the
of
thing.
dogs.
We live in a world now where how do you bring in sponsorship, right? You bring it through your presence, your online presence, right?
Because you always have the same sponsors, you know, and that's fine. Like the
and
pet
your
food
relationship that
and
you
all
make.
Yeah.
But these small kennel clubs, how are they meant to do that?
When they
don't invest money into, their social media presence, into making their relationship with companies.
Because as a company, you're probably like, how many people will be there? How many people will I be able to advertise to? Oh, 500. That's it? Not interested. How much money do you want? Whoa, no thank you. I don't actually know, but you're right. And I think that's one of the issues is it's like, it's not well known. Like I don't even know. We were doing a vendoring at a dog sporting event and someone told us about it. Yeah. That's how we found out. And like
otherwise we wouldn't have known.
And like we knew dog shows were a thing, but because we had no care to show Maple or do anything, we never would have gone to them. But even as not going there as vendors, I would still go. Yeah. It'd still be cool to go for the day again, to see the vendors and depending where a lot of vendors are local. So it's very good to like support local businesses. If you want to get something for your dog, it's good to learn about new companies around dogs. Like there's the raw food company that we've never heard of that was there. Grooming supplies, things that you didn't even know you needed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a thing. They're like,
well, that's the thing. Yeah. Like you can go to these places and you can talk to people and they'll be able to, because there's so many groomers at the dog shows. You can literally go to a groomer that specializes in your dog breed and ask them, hey, what is the best way to groom my dog? What kind of equipment do I need to groom my dog? I want to do it myself
instead of paying a fortune for groomers or something like that.
Well, you probably wouldn't say that to a groomer. But
No, not a groomer. Well, or the people that sell the things. Yeah. Like there's the companies that were at ours, they sell the scissors and the clippers and the razors and all of that kind of stuff and the shampoos and soaps and all of those things. And it was like you were saying, you were talking to them and you said there's different shampoos depending on which dog you have and what their coat is like.
Yeah, no, I have some great conversations with like vendors, especially ones that do sell grooming supplies, because obviously I'm the one doing all the grooming with our dog.
You are.
So, I had a little talk with one of the gentlemen that owns the business that sells grooming supplies, and he like legit told me, if you ever need any help, here's my business card, like literally email me with everything that you like any questions that you may have and I will happily answer it. He actually said to me, you can come to my house, we can have coffee, tea, whatever, and you can try out different things on your dog.
You're not going to his house without me?
No,
I'm just kidding.
But anyway, that's what he said to me. This is how nice it is to be in that community because people are so willing to help.
Yeah, and so on that point, it's
unless you are showing your dog.
It's not just vendoring, it's just the people in general. So we wanted to do agility and we knew nothing, but it's very intimidating because you have like the show secretary tent and there's like a half a dozen people sitting and they all look like they're busy and there's paperwork and forms everywhere. And it's like, I don't know who to talk to. And sometimes it's a bit intimidating, but once you or your wife gets over your fear and goes and speaks to them, they're so helpful.
I'm like, hey, we want to do agility. What do I do?
And so we've never done it before and we had to, and they're like, what's her height? I'm like, I have no idea. And they're like, okay, let's go. Come with me. We're going to go find our little like measuring device and let's find it out. And they helped us fill out the form. And then it was like, okay, what do we do next kind of thing? But it doesn't, and that's the problem is it doesn't feel like that. Because it's not, again, it's not advertised. It's not like, I'm going to use the word welcoming. I don't think these events are very welcoming. You go to them.
Newbies.
To new people.
Yeah.
So you go to the show.
Like you either know about it or you don't know about it.
Yeah.
And it's like if you're there, everyone is always so busy and so wrapped up and they all seem like they know each other.
Yeah.
And it's like these pockets of people that everyone just knows everyone. And as a newbie, you're just like, what the hell am I doing here?
Exactly. And I think, and so that's when we go with the outdated aspect or whatever. It's just like, who is the point of contact? Is there like a concierge, like a hotel or a guest services area and be like, hey, it's our first time here. Can you like explain to me like where is things? And they should be, maybe that exists. I don't know though.
Yeah.
And you don't want to feel like, because everyone's so busy and a lot of people are volunteers.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't want to disturb you from doing what you're doing kind of thing.
Because you are just too kind. You're just like too nice.
I guess so.
You're like,
Canadian.
I don't want to step on your toes and like ask stupid questions. And I'm just like, I just ask stupid questions. I don't care.
So let's kind of talk about what are things that from our opinion or perspective is like bad or things are like could be better when it comes to dog shows. So for example, or not what's bad about dog shows, but what are some like things or misconceptions people don't know? And I think we can start off with the whole showing of your dog and how you're literally paying for someone's opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do. Well, so I'm honestly, I have this internal fight.
Okay.
Inside of my head every single time we're at the dog show or we talk about dog shows. So from one side, I'm like, well, dog shows are great. It'd be great to show your dog because if you have a dog that's successful in this sport, it means that your dog is genetically, structurally functioning and sound.
Healthy,
it's a healthy dog. So it'd be good to do this for this purpose. However, on the other hand, you are paying for someone's opinion. So to me, it just seems stupid.
Okay. Well, why? Because it's but it's technically based on like somewhat of a professional's opinion, I would assume. But then I don't know what makes someone qualified to be a judge. I have no idea I don't know. We don't actually know that. So we don't know what qualifies you as a judge. You have to be in dog shows for a very long time. You understand them. Are you a vet? But then I wouldn't even trust vets either. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know what makes someone a good judge of a breed.
Yeah.
Especially since these judges have to judge different breeds throughout the day of judging.
And I think a lot of it is to do with structure more than, I would say more than looks from the outside. You know what I mean? Because,
so this is what standard people wouldn't realize if you have never been to a dog show. So what I heard a judge looks for, first of all, is the gait, right? It's like, how does the dog walk?
Yes.
Walk is very important because it shows the movement of the body.
Yeah, the kind of skeletal and muscular system. I imagine. Yeah.
And then they will have the dog and they will inspect and touch that dog up everywhere.
Yeah.
So I guess they look for the broadness of this, the broadness of that, what type of muscle it has. So they run the hands all over the dog's body. So your dog has to be comfortable with someone touching them.
Yeah.
they also open the mouth to see the teeth or the structure of the jaw and mouth inside and things like that. So
now, we're not saying they like crank open your dog's mouth like it's a crocodile, like and they're sticking their head in. They normally just like see.
And
like,
also
with the mouth closed.
I think what they look for as well is that X factor, right? The general appearance of the dog from the outside too. So grooming is extremely important when it comes to dog shows.
Well, of course, if you had your golden retriever with a really nice flowing coat and then you just had some golden retriever that looked like they just came out of the river or a lake. Yeah, obviously.
It's like, what are you doing? Yeah.
and you're right. So it is someone's opinion, which, and you see this. Now, this is, I guess, where the politics come into it because we hear people talk because we ask them and it's like, oh, we don't like this judge because they always side with these people, or we don't like this judge, or this judge is really good to us because we know them. Or the rumor that if you hire a well-known professional handler, you're more likely to win because apparently they got like little deals with judges, or like, I just paid $200 for this person to show my dog, so they better win. And it's kind of that. Like, now, this is all speculation. We don't know this as a fact.
Yeah.
This is just rumors.
I heard a lot of rumors about like what's going on the like
under the table level kind of thing.
With handlers and groomers and breeders and everyone else involved in this sport. I actually heard that handlers that are competing, they will actually pouring glue into shampoo bottles.
Really?
Yeah, they will like sabotage. I guess
there's some pretty extreme people.
They will sabotage each other's stations. So. They will sabotage each other's dogs.
Probably like kids. It's probably the parents with their kids in like dance.
I mean, this is just rumors that I heard on the grounds, but I can imagine that happening.
And like we said, again, it's still a very friendly place, but there are extreme things. There are people that spend a lot of money.
Well, so let's talk about money, right?
Okay.
So to show your dog, it's around $30.
Oh, for them to go in the ring or whatever.
Yeah, to go in the ring. I
actually didn't even know how much it was.
That adds up pretty quickly if you have to show your dog numerous times in a day.
Yeah.
And, you progress further on, I guess, because you have to probably pay for every single time.
And so, wait, I don't understand this. And this is maybe, I don't know if you do, but like, because I feel like this happens. So like this one breed, for example, Toller, do they go in the rings multiple times? Or is it depending on what
Depends who, it gets eliminated.
I know, but so like the group of Tollers will only ever go in once?
I don't know.
Because I feel like when we were speaking to one Toller family, they said they were going in again in the afternoon, but because there's like different like levels. There's like the specialty class. There's the standard. I don't know. See, this is where we don't know. But you're right. The point of it is it costs a lot of money.
Yeah. So it costs a lot of money. So it adds up because if you are going to a dog show, you're probably going to end up going there, not just for a day, but for a couple of days.
Yeah.
So it's the same as with dog sport trials. Like you think to yourself, oh, it's just $30, but you have to spend that $30 like
time.
6 times, right? Or something like that.
If your dog loses or fails, then that's it. That money's gone.
If you are not experienced on the ring, you might have to spend money on training yourself of how to handle your dog.
Yeah.
So you need to take confirmation classes, which are also not cheap. There could be hundreds of dollars.
And depending on how many you need, because as the handler, you need to understand it. So if you can't figure it out in one course or whatever, then you go again.
If you don't want to do the classes, you can always hire a handler. That is also another cost. These cost like $100 up from there, depending on how experienced your handler is, which you probably want someone who is experienced so you can win those points quicker. Again, that's very political.
Yes.
But then you have cost of grooming. Now, grooming is like crazy expensive.
No, it all depends on the dog. And so some people, they groom themselves, but you still need like the tools and the table and the right brush and all of that. Like we know
exactly, and that adds up, right? All the equipment that you need to buy, like the correct brushes. We bought a brush at the dog show that was $120 or something ridiculous.
Scissors that were like $150. Yeah. We ordered them.
Exactly.
But if
and
you're
that
gonna,
is just one brush and one pair of scissors, right? And that's already almost $300.
But then those should last a long time because, like, maybe not the brush, but the scissors you can get sharpened and they should last.
But I'm just saying, just how
upfront
big of a commitment it is financially. So this is probably why people take it so seriously, because there is a lot of money involved in it.
And I think this is why. Now, I'm not saying this and that it's only older people, but there are a lot. I would say a majority of them are like retirees or stuff like that, because you're right. It's a lot of money. It's time off work. We've spoken to people where like the women are there and like, oh, my husband's coming on Saturday because he didn't want to take the day off work on Friday, because it's like, well, no, like this is expensive. I'm going to go to work to pay for it. And so, and I think that's maybe, and it's the same with dog sports, why you don't see a lot of younger people, I don't think, doing dog sports, because it is expensive, but it's not. It's if it's something you really enjoy doing. But
like you also have to count in food, accommodation, things like that, right? So a dog show, a weekend can literally set you back thousands of dollars.
Like you're not going to buy scissors and a brush every dog show.
But you're going to pay for a groomer every day.
Potentially,
and that also adds up, right? So it's actually crazy.
All for some points and a ribbon.
And potentially a ribbon.
So now here's one other thing that's something that like I think is dumb or wrong or a downside. So the way that we understand is you get points, but it all depends on how many dogs are there. So for example, if you had we're going to say border collie, and you are the only person that shows up, you and your group of all the border collies, you will get 0 points. You will win out of all the border collies, but you get 0 points. So you do go to like the next round, which is like, you'll go to like the herding group. Yeah. So there's your chance to get points, but you just spend $30 to go in the ring with no other dogs and you got 0.
Yeah.
So
is that how it works? I have no idea.
So it is based on how many other dogs, because technically if you're competing against 10 dogs, it's a harder chance to win. I don't know if it's like 10 dogs, you get 10 points.
I think it also depends of whether there's, so like if you are the only female and there's 2 boys in the ring, you also get no points.
I think so. So, and that's just one. So that's one downside. So like, I guess you automatically get to go through and then you have a high, now you have a chance of like potentially getting to best of show or whatever. And then another thing is you can do it forever. So, and this is something we were literally talking about earlier. That's like the frustrating part. So you can have a dog that's like, you know what? You love your dog. You think they're the best dog in the world. You think they're better than all the other ones, but they're not. On paper, they're not. But over time, you will gain your 1 point, your 2 points here or there, because the other dogs that are showed up are just as, I'm going to use the word bad lightly, but just as not as like high quality. Yeah. And so you get your points and so you're doing it. And so you'll get your title or whatever. Yeah. But I think to get the final, like grand champion, you have to win, because we didn't understand this. So I was watching YouTube videos while we're at the dog show. You have to get 2 major wins, which involve, I think, at least 4 or 5 points. So I think you would need to beat 5 or 6 dogs or something like that. So, I mean, like if you have a not so good dog, the odds of you getting that major win.
So you get your champion title, and then you can get your grand champion.
And I think for that, you can't, because that's the thing. Otherwise, you can play the slow game and you can spend 5 years, whatever, getting 1 point, 2 points, a couple points here and there. Cool, I got my 15 points. I think it's 15. I'm good. Please pay me to breed my dog. It's got its title. Yeah. My dog is getting old.
It took my dog 6 years to get
like there's some. We talked to one lady, and her dog's almost there, 3 years old. I think it's like 1 major win or something away, and it's like that's good. Like that's fast. 2 years, whatever. And again, depending on how many dog, that's the thing. You can travel all around your country and go to as many dog shows as you can, and you can have that thing in like a year as well. Yeah. So that's something that like I like that concept of like you need major wins. And so that's another thing. It's like, cool, you have your points, but if you have your points and you've won best in show at the biggest one in your province, they're like, okay, the dog that has 15 points and won best in show, I want that one over the dog, not want, but like I want to breed with that one versus the one who just got 15 points and didn't win. It's more desirable. So the system, although it works, because it's been around forever.
The 15 points,
I don't think it was 15 points, but
or whatever it is to get your championship. Does that mean any dog can technically get it?
Well, no, because if your dog is like really bad, it will never win.
Yeah.
Because even if you're the only dog, you're going to get your 0 points. Or even if there's one other dog, I still think you don't. I don't know.
You don't get that many. But no, maybe you do.
Because I was talking to this other lady and I was asking her, because like we've seen her at like other events, and how does your dog do? And it's like, oh, you know, so she just listed off the day. She's like, oh, 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, and then 0 points on the fourth day. And it's like, to me, that's not good. If you went the whole weekend, 4 different days, 4 different potential judges. And again, there's different dogs on different days because some people might not come on the Friday because they're working. Yeah. They'll come on the Saturday. And you only kept getting 1 point. I don't know. You could have an off weekend. But if that happens all the time, I personally think you're just throwing your money away and you're being like selfish.
But like, do you think there's really any point to show your dog if you are not planning on breeding it?
I mean, unless bragging rights.
Yeah.
I think you would show your dog, because we'll use our example. So when we're planning on getting a second toddler next year, and we thought, you know what, now that we've seen this world, let's try it. We don't want to breed. We literally will have a no breeding contract, so we can't. But I am curious. I want to see. So like, I think to show your dog, if you are in love with the breed, you really want to know where they stand in the standard, or where they like measure up in the standard, and try it for a year. Yeah. Try a couple shows. If they just keep losing, it's like, okay, well then that's fine.
I feel like I don't care. If I lost, like maybe not one time,
it would have to be a couple weekends, because again, depending on where, like I think you would try like 3 shows or something like that. It's like third time's the charm.
I would give up after second.
Okay, I'll go to the third. Like, but maybe you're right. If they get like points, 0, 0, 0, 0
over the weekend or whatever.
You also got to remember the first few shows you're learning.
You've
never been there. Is your dog groomed correctly? Are you walking correctly? Maybe, because that's the thing. It's like we were talking about agility. They have to just try. They have to get used to it. So you actually might spend a couple of shows getting 0 points, but it's practice.
You're true. Learning.
So
you're right.
I don't know. That's just my thoughts of things that are like silly and just frustrating. It's like people like, okay, I want to breed my dog, but like they're getting points, but you know, they're just sliding by every weekend or every year. And it just makes me think like, well, I don't know what my thoughts are. I don't know how I fully feel about that, because we're not part of that world, so I don't fully understand.
I mean, bragging rights are pretty big, right?
That. Yeah,
we love all bragging, like, oh yeah, my dog's a champion. Yeah. It doesn't mean anything to you, but it means so much to me, and I just want to share it with everyone.
To be honest, since we started doing agility, I was looking up all the titles. I was like, Maple is going to be a Grand Master Agility, whatever. It's a really long title. I want it. We're going to get it. It's going to take a lot of work, but you know what I mean? Like it's a thing. It's an accomplishment too.
And the thing is, it's just a couple letters on a piece of paper, but it means so much
to you.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. As humans, we love to accomplish something.
Yeah.
We love to achieve something. When you can do it with your dog and you have that, bonding thing. Okay. Speaking of bonding, I'll wrap this up, and I want to talk about another downside to it, but it's just like that bonding with your dog and like achieving something together is such a great feeling. Even if nobody understands, it's like, oh, I got a title. They're like, what the hell is a title?
Yeah, exactly.
Who cares?
But this is what I'm talking about. Like maybe it is worth doing it, even if you don't want to breed it.
That's true.
Because it still gives you that practice. It gives you the bond. It's something to do with your dog. And
if you do win, it gives you that satisfaction, because it's the political thing. You're all friends with the same breed and the owners until you get in the ring. And that's what we've heard. Like everyone's out to get everyone else. Like get out of my way, move over. You're standing in front of me. Your dog is blocking my dog.
Yeah. Your dog is like borderline in heat and is distracting.
Yeah. There's a lot of drama and politics, but again, you're spending a lot of money, and But on the topic of bonding, now this is an old school thing, and this is something that we notice, and we're not like full 100% well, no, we are actually. Anyway, the point of this is there's handlers that are a bit mean to their dogs.
Yeah.
So we're not saying, and don't call the positive reinforcement police. We're not saying people are abusing their dogs, but like you can see the people that are very serious.
The first time I seen it, it was actually like, it made me feel really uncomfortable.
Yeah, they're just like, because the collar or chain you use when you show your dog, it's this really, really thin thing. And yeah, it sits behind their ears. But the thing is,
you never actually, so let's talk about real world.
Okay.
You don't usually see people being rough with their dog.
In the real world, yeah. So when you're out for a walk, you don't see someone getting angry unless their dog did something like really bad, like was aggressive or whatever.
A person like hitting their dog
or like low key kicking their dog. No, we don't mean like a full
shutting
on
the mouth,
a full on booting them. Yeah, we don't mean like you're gonna kick them across the field. Yeah, but like a good swift like get your leg in, and that's what we mean. Like in the real world, if your dog is being like extremely aggressive, you might see somebody like grab them and be like, no, like that's bad. But when their dog is literally just standing there, but their leg is a little bit, one leg is a little bit off from the other one, and they give it a swift kick. As I just kicked Sandal and almost hit Maple. It was an accident. But you're right. It's, or like their head goes down a little bit because they're dogs and they want to sniff. And I know they're not supposed to, but like, I don't know. But again, I don't know. We don't understand that because we're not in the ring. We're not spending the money. Well, no, regardless, you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
Your dog,
you have off
days.
Seen this woman like trying to pose with her poodle, and she was getting so annoyed because this poodle was panting since it was really hot outside. And she started like shutting the mouth, like shut your mouth, and like shouting at this dog and like trying to forcefully shut the mouth to try to get this picture because apparently it looks not as aesthetically correct if a dog pants.
Well, I mean, it's also as a human, when you go for family photos, you don't want to be all like slouched. But yeah.
Though, like this is so crazy. Yeah.
And so
like that type of attitude, I'm not sure if I kind of agree with it. I feel like it goes beyond. There's taking something seriously and there's taking something way too seriously.
And I think that's one of the outdated approaches.
Yeah.
But do you remember actually our very first show that we went to? We were vendoring it, and we were talking to this older gentleman, and he was asking us if we have a dog and all that because we didn't bring Maple with us. And then we're like, oh, we have a toddler, and then they're like, oh, do you show? Like, oh no, we do sports, and he's like, oh, so she's just a pet.
Oh my God, I will never forget that.
Exactly. So that's why I wanted to, and he said that to you. And I remember this story from you telling me. And so that's the point I want to make is there's people that are so extreme that their dog that they're showing, it's literally there to make them money. And it's not as bad as like the puppy mills that we talked about, in a previous episode. I don't think it's that bad because they're like probably prestigious breeders and, their dogs are very healthy. But when you say that, it's like, well, yes, she is. You're right, but
no,
she's not. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, is your dog is a pet? What is your dog? I wish, but we were. This was our very first show. It was like our second day.
I don't even remember how I responded.
I think you just ignored him because you probably were so angry and your face turned red.
But I think my jaw kind of dropped.
Yeah, and I feel
because it felt like if you're not showing your dog, it means you are of a lesser person than the person that's showing, even though, well, I know their dog and the dog has really short legs. So.
But it all depends on the people because like we know people that show their dogs and they also do agility. They also do rally.
Yeah.
They also, you know what I mean? So those people, those are the type of people that we like. But there are people that only show their dogs. Like I saw Dr. Natalie, who we had on this episode, the animal chiropractor. She posted a picture on Instagram that I thought was funny that it was a Samoyed or Samoyed or whatever
Samoyed, yeah.
That was being pulled around in a wagon because the caption was saying, if you like spend this much time getting groomed, like it was like you get driven around in style because they didn't want their dog to walk on the dry grass just in case it stepped in pee, poo, whatever. It doesn't matter. It should have been. And so that's what I mean. Like there are people that are like kind of that's so extreme, or the ones that they're walking with their poodles with their holding their mouth shut the whole time.
Yeah.
Or the dog's not even in the ring. I saw this this really old guy with a golden, and they weren't in the ring. They were just walking past the vendors, and literally, I think it was just habit. Every single step, he was doing like the leash pop on the dog, and the dog was doing nothing wrong. The dog was not dipping its head. I think he just got so ingrained, and it like pissed me off. I wanted to wrap the thing around him and start popping it, And I know people use that. That is a training technique. I'm not saying it's a good one. I'm not saying it's a bad one.
Yeah.
Situational.
That's what people do in a ring to get the dog to walk properly.
In this episode, unless you're injuring your dog or abusing your dog. But and that's what it was. I was like, what is this guy doing? But he was probably, he would have yelled at me if I would have said anything like, But anyway, and that's something that like I don't like about the dog show. But maybe that's just the reality of it. That's just what dog shows are, unfortunately, or at least what they are now.
I'm not saying everyone that shows their dogs abuses the dog, of course not. Obviously.
Or are rough with their dogs.
But it's something that we have observed as outsiders, that people do tend to be rather rough with their dogs.
We know the one toller that, they show him, he wasn't there this weekend, and after the show, they don't care. They'll let him roll around on the grass. We get to pet him. He'll jump up on us and say hello. And that's fun. Like they want to, they're showing the dog because they want to breed him. But at the end of the day, he is their pet. At the end of the day, he's a dog. He wants to have fun. He like literally rolls around.
So it's like, what's the gap between a show dog and a pet, really, right?
And so this is like where...
Why can you not be both or be neither?
And this is where I kind of want to lead into with like the outdated. It's like, so... There is a huge gap in like the dog show world. The majority of people that show dogs are the older generation, Gen X, boomers, whatever. I want to throw labels on it. Pre-internet, kind of pre-millennial, whatever that is. And so there are starting to get some younger people, but those people are only if their parents were in it or something like that. I've noticed that. And this is the problem.
I grew up with this. I have inherited the kennel.
And this is the thing. It's like the people that like, had the farms and they had horses and all that. But now with like the more urban locations and more people have dogs and they're their pets and all that. But like how are they going to bridge the gap to get like millennials like us? Involved because I'm me as a older millennial. I am the future. This age group is the future of the dog world. But how do we get involved in it without knowing our knowledge and what we know because of modern ways of doing things with learning on the internet? How do we get involved with like what our beliefs are versus the traditional dog show of the being like really proper and maybe a little bit too rough
has to
with
be,
your dogs,
and
that's an interesting, if you have an answer to that or if
because dog shows are based on the tradition though. Like you have to remember that.
Yeah, that's so true.
They're based on a tradition. They're based on the standard, the original standards, right?
You're right.
They don't really update.
Well, standards shouldn't.
A standard is a standard, and this is what we are trying to achieve. I wish they did that with
humans. They just kept them the same.
But then that makes me think also, are standards sometimes too rigid?
Well, yeah, but they have to be. Otherwise, what do you decide to be lenient on?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like, I still think it should be because... then you will get the unhealthy dogs. Look at humans. The standard of what is okay in humans and whatever, like that's fine. We live in this society, but it has changed.
Yeah.
And what was standard 50 years ago was, healthy, blah, 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 before fast food and processed stuff. What's the standard now is more kind of unhealthy, lazy, whatever. And
it doesn't mean it's good, right?
But it doesn't mean it's necessarily good. Now, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not, don't come at me with right or wrong and all this stuff. But I think it's the same with dogs. You don't, and this is unfortunately what's happening with dogs is they are getting unhealthier. They're being fed crappy food and they're not living as long.
Yeah.
And so you do need this original standard.
Yeah.
Because even though you have a golden retriever, there are thousands of breeders probably in golden retrievers. But I bet you there is only a few dozen, maybe 100 or so, I'm saying in North America, that still breed to that high standard.
Yeah.
And you need that. Otherwise, they'll become extinct or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like the bloodlines will just get so diluted.
Or they'll become so overbred that they just won't be the same dog. And the problem is maybe that's society doesn't care anymore. Maybe that's the other issue. Society doesn't care because it's just a pet. They're living in my condo or my apartment, like whatever, if they're not the highest of standard. Because that costs money. We've learned that. You want the highest standard of your dog breed, you're paying for it. You want this dog breed and you just don't care? Cool. You unfortunately can find one probably from a backyard breeder.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't support that.
But the thing is, like, people just need to know that it's an investment at the end of the day.
Yeah. And we're getting a little bit off topic, but
I feel
we're
like,
talking about breeds. So.
Well, yeah. But I feel like if you are aware of dog shows and reputable breeding and things like that, just, you are aware of the standard of your dog.
Just dog health. We'll even say, let's say dog health. It's not just the standard. It's like, what is a healthy border collie? What is a healthy golden retriever? What is a healthy Frenchie?
Border collie or golden retriever will fit the standard.
Yeah. Well, no, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm using that word just to make it easier for people to understand, because someone might not.
But there's also this whole speculation of a dog coming from a show line.
Yes.
Right.
Well, yeah, there are like show line dogs. There are like sport
line.
styles. So, you know, example, border collie. You can get a show border collie. You can get a herding border collie. You know what I mean?
Which look completely different, but at the same time, they both should fit the standard.
Yes. A sport line herding border collie, cool, might not have the best coat, but they will have the correct skeletal structure, the bones, the density, the muscle mass, all of that. They will still have that. They won't be overweight. They won't be underweight.
Yeah.
They just will look a little bit scruffy.
Yeah.
In the sense of the coat. You know what I mean? Like, or the color might be a little bit off or something, you know?
Yeah, would be just the coat, really.
Technically, I guess so. I mean, we don't know. This
it
is
should
just
still fit the standard.
That's why this is a podcast. We can say whatever we want. We don't know what we're talking about sometimes. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. And so I think this is the whole point why we're talking about dog shows from a outside, non-showing perspective, because you can learn so much. You only know, that's the problem, is you only know what you know from your vet, from PetSmart, Petco, whatever big box stores. You go to a dog show and you see this vendor that's pretty big and they sell all they do is grooming supplies. You cannot get their knowledge at PetSmart, at Petco. You cannot get their knowledge. You can go to a groomer's and they could do all of that, but they're not going to share it with you, because then they're going to take, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not going to tell you how to groom your dog, because then you won't go there anymore.
Yeah. Then
but
you
these people that sell
yourself.
the tools, or the people that sell the food, you know, I'm not saying anything, there's one food, but like, you know, again, there was this raw food company, because we feed Maple raw, and they're able to educate you. And I was talking to them about the food, and they were saying like, oh, so our raw food, blah, 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 it's all, you know, we deliver it whenever we do, but it's not a complete meal. You will still need to like supplement things and all that. And you can get that. You go to PetSmart, it's literally like a high school worker.
Yeah,
or something
exactly.
Like that. You know what I mean?
It's like, you know, this person doesn't care if my dog eats well or
they
not.
Don't.
This vendor and this person that's heavily involved with the kennel club,
or they're
and
in the
also
dog world. Yeah.
they usually sponsor the kennel clubs. They want you to be that future. They want you to succeed. They want you, like, I would trust this person over some kid that I met in PetSmart.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's what I mean. And I think that's the point of dog shows and dog events is like you're around people that have so much passion.
Yeah, and knowledge and
they might have
experience.
passion just for their dog, just for their breed, but still a lot of it can, travel around. Just hence us with this podcast. We have so much passion about dogs and obviously our dog, especially that we want to learn these things. We want to know how to give her the best life. And we want you to know. We want you, the listeners, you, the viewers to know these things.
Yeah.
Because we have learned these from these professionals, from these high level people, from these like really passionate people. Because at the end of the day, even a trainer, there's thousands of trainers and we're not saying anything bad about trainers, but COVID made a lot of dog trainers and they're doing it because they like dogs.
Yeah.
Are they passionate about it? If you ask, you know what I mean? Maybe, maybe not. You don't know.
But that's what I heard actually. So obviously we speak to a lot of people at dog show because what else can you do, right? Yeah. Other than chit chat about random stuff. But the lady that I was talking to one time, she was a breeder of Bouviers. Do you remember?
Oh, at the second one we went to last year. Yeah. The lady that was beside us.
Yeah. And she was telling us that if you breed dogs responsibly, meaning that you put so much money into the litter, in terms of the nutrition, the medical stuff,
like the care,
and the general care and training, you actually don't make almost any money. Like you honestly sometimes just break even on a litter. So if you are a breeder, usually you are doing it for the passion, not for the money.
Yeah.
Even though a responsible breeder will charge you a lot more for the litter, but it's only because they have invested money into that dog.
Oh, yeah.
And also they have invested money into the mom and the dad to show them, to make sure that they have titles, to make sure that they are medically examined and things like that, and meeting the standard of the breed. So then the litter that these two dogs that they have pumped so much money into, the result of the litter is a good standard healthy litter that you can buy.
Or even if it's like a breeder that does like sport dogs, that the parents have got the titles, they were able to be trained and follow the instructions. Because the puppies, although you still have to train them, but if they come from dogs, parents that know how to learn, just like if you had a human child where both of your parents are doctors, it's a lot more likely for the son or daughter to be a doctor.
Or being somehow intelligent
because your parents are intelligent.
It's just how it is.
It's just the way it works. That's the way the world works. Now, if you got a dog from a show line or a sport line and you did zero work into it, they might get it really easy. That's what we found with Maple. We don't know exactly what type of line she came from, whether it's a show or sport, but she gets sports pretty naturally, but we also put in the work.
Yeah.
But you know that it's worth putting in the work because they came from that line. Anyway, this is just, I don't even know where that topic was going, but someone we were talking to at dog shows. But that's the point of the dog shows is.
But I'm just saying, because a lot of people think, a breeder, they're going to, pump out a lot of puppies and they're only doing it for the money. And people don't process that a $100 puppy is actually worse off than $1,000 puppy. Yes. Coming from a responsible breeder.
And I mean, again, especially if you don't know them, I mean, some people have very good relationships.
A $100 puppy, what did that person do to do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
what is that $100 going to give back to them if they spent $2,000?
The female literally just pumped out this puppy and that was it.
Yeah.
They don't include any training. Like you don't even know what type of conditions this puppy was put in, right? And things like that. So this is what people need to be aware of, that responsible breeders should be the way to go.
So I want to ask you, why are we talking about breeders when we're talking about dog shows?
I'm not sure.
I know you love to get off topic and rant, and that was fine. I let you finish your point, but because I know we were talking about
breeding and breeders are very closely interconnected with the dog show world.
And again, whether it's showing or agility, like we know people that breed dogs, but they're high end agility, like the Shelties, because we were originally looking at those, and we the training facility that we go to, they breed like winning agility Shelties.
Yeah.
And so these are the things you have people or you have these people that they're not breeders. Cause again, I know you said a lot of people are, but I think I need to add on. I don't think there's as many people are breeders as you think there are. Most of the tollers we know are not breeders.
They're not, but they want to breed.
I know, but they're not breeders. I'm just saying they want to rent out. I know in a weird way of saying they don't want to have the litter themselves, but they want to like rent out the males.
But does that not make you a breeder though?
No, that does not make you a breeder because the breeder has a name. Like Maple's name is Supernova is, Yeah. They don't decide the litter name. They just get paid to, be a surrogate mother or provide the sperm or whatever from the male. That's it. I would not say they're breeders.
You're right.
Yeah. And so I just want to emphasize there's not just those people there.
Yeah.
And so same with like you go to see Riley Obedience, you go see they're normal people like you.
Yeah.
The lady that we were speaking to who is showing her dog, who almost won in 3 years, never planned on showing her dog. She did not. Remember she was saying that? She's like, I didn't care. I didn't care about this world at all. And I remember I was talking to my breeder and like, you know what? Her coat's coming in really nicely. Like, do you think, maybe we can try to show her? And she's killing it.
Wow.
And so that's the point of it. It's like you have these people that are just normal people.
Yeah.
Like you, that with your dog, or like us. That,
well, if you're killing it and you're enjoying it, then why not do it?
And so that's what I mean. It's
even
like,
if you are not planning on breeding, right?
So don't feel like you have to be at that level of, I have to be a breeder. I want to breed my dog. I need to be an agility snob. Yeah. You don't. You can just have fun. We've seen dogs that are just chaos in the agility ring. Yeah. And you can see like the owners are a little bit annoyed, but it's just like, whatever. Yeah. You know what? They're my pet at the end of the day because I'm using that word because they are. At the end of the day, they're going to come home. They're going to sit on the couch next to me. They're going to, watch a movie together. Like that's what they are. They're not going to be locked in their kennel. It's a show dog,
but also, we can just be not
do
a show
whatever
dog.
we want to do. And so that's what I mean. Like that's kind of also the point of the dog show for the regular families, for the couples that have a dog or the people that are thinking of getting a dog. Like don't think it's full of stuck up, snobby, rich people.
Yeah.
They exist. They exist in everything anyway. And they take it serious. But those are the people who won't help you. Yeah. Those are the people that will just kind of like
it's a mix, right?
Yeah. And it's just it can be, and that's the point of this is I think dog shows can be way more fun and engaging. Yeah. That's the issue. And again, maybe it's a
we need to make it fun and engaging, but also stick to a standard.
Well, I think that this is if you own kennel clubs or you are in connection with people in kennel clubs, share this piece of wisdom for them. But I think kennel clubs, just like any business, because at the end of the day, it's a business.
Yeah, it's a non-profit business, but still a business.
Needs some sort of marketing and or promotion person or team.
Yeah.
But like someone who is good at it. Don't be like, oh, hey, my daughter can take some social media videos. No. I think...
Not like this 70-year-old retiree,
And so like if you have to charge a little bit more, I think, now again, we're not sure. If I was showing my dog, if I had to pay $5 more to show my dog, but I had an audience that were cheering us on as we won, I think that extra $5 is worth it.
Oh, yeah.
To be honest. I think if I'm running agility and we have to pay a couple extra dollars per run, but we get to see videos of it, we have photos that were already paid for. Okay, this is something that's a little off topic. Nothing to all the photographers, we've definitely, you'd be hired. I think these events should raise some money or be included in where people can get these photos and videos for free.
Yeah.
I think as a kennel club
as a
tournament organizer, you should give somebody $500.
Yeah.
Let them take photos and they offer them out for free because at least, I mean, from my experience doing photography and video, the amount of people that would actually pay for photos is very, very low.
Yeah.
Guaranteed it's very low because you might like that photo, but do you like it enough to pay $5 for it?
Not to mention that there are now AI things that can remove watermarks and things. So even if a photographer puts a watermark on it, you can find a way to remove it.
So these are things that like, we have enough going on with this podcast, with our store, with wanting to get Maple's Grandmaster Agility title, and we've just started 2 days ago. You know what I mean?
but we have these ambitions.
I wish I had the time to offer like advice to these kennel clubs. But like, I want you, again, if you know somebody, give this to them. Be open to it. Because as we said, a lot of people that run kennel clubs, they are older, which is fine. They're very experienced. Yeah. A young person could not run a kennel club at all. I wouldn't know even where to begin.
A fresh, young perspective on how to market.
Yeah, and promote. And even like, I'm going to use the word producing lightly. Like we know someone, he's the producer for Super Dogs, which is the producer is the one who organizes, plans, finds everything. Yeah. Helping to find those locations, helping to set it up in a way that's appealing, helping to have those welcoming people. I mean, I liked this one, and mainly because it was limited parking, but they had the people of the thing being like, hey, what are you here for? You're here for confirmation, you're here for rally, you're here for agility, because they're like directing you. Yeah. Like, awesome, have a good day. Like that was very welcoming for us. And as a guest, if you didn't know where you were going, to have someone that isn't just some kid that doesn't care. I'd be like, oh, cool. Yeah. So agility, if you just walk straight ahead, it's just behind this thing. Our confirmation shows are just over here. You can see all the rings. If you go to the secretary tent, they'll have a schedule. Even the schedules are so confusing to read.
I know.
I remember when I asked for agility.
You don't even know half the time how to find them.
I remember I was like, she had 2 trials in the same day. And so the first one, thankfully, was the very first one. But I was like, well, what time's the second one at? Like, well, there is no set time. It just goes in an order. Yeah. And I was like, you should have a general idea of how long these things take. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like you have a 6-hour window or 8-hour window of how long the show is.
It should be a little bit more organized.
Like flyball, it's, again, I guess it's the same thing. You don't know the time. But things are so fast. You don't have to wait 4 hours. So that was the problem. You have to like hang out in the area or go check in every 30 minutes to be like, which one is this? How far are they through? How many dogs are left? Let me see. Okay, I'm going to just throw out some math. Maybe 30 minutes they'll be ready. And all of a sudden, 15 minutes later, they're like, hey, we're going now. Yeah. What the heck? I thought you said 2. It's 1.
But so the people that are kind of like in control of the whole agility trials and things like that, they should have a microphone. Like I can barely hear them. They just shouting away like this person next, that person next. Yeah. Just have like a little mic or something so you can say, hey, coming up next. And that's like, the thing. Like
you can have just those speakers, those ones you can buy, those DJ speakers with the lights you can buy from Costco, $100 or something like that. Again, you don't want it to be too loud that you interrupt other venues or other events, but like have it pointed in a certain way. Because if there's a show going on, you don't want someone yelling every time, but maybe you should. You should be like, we're going to be starting jumps and tunnels in ring whatever 17 in 5 minutes.
Yeah, or in 10 minutes. Everyone knows that's around there, right? That this is what's happening, rather than like you have to figure it out or like.
And I know there's a lot of last minute changes and all that, but and we see that at even people do confirmation. You see people running around being like, "Where am I supposed to be? Where are the sport dogs? Where are the things?" And it's like
nothing is very clear.
But I think it's still a very outdated planning. That's what I mean. Like everything, which is fine, it's still on paper, which is, I mean, paper is perfectly fine, but it just seems like really like, I don't know, confusing. And so a lot of people are standing around like, where do I go? When am I done? How long do I have? And maybe it can't be organized. I don't know. This is the problem. We haven't never showed, so we don't understand how it all works. But the whole point of the marketing, the promoting, the excitement, you know, why is now, I know like best of show. I don't know. We've never stayed for the best in show. And I know they like live stream it, but why aren't they announcing it? Being like, coming in when we haven't finished watching this movie, but it's a movie you should watch. It's called The Best in Show. Best in Show. It's a movie from 2000. And And so on that show, this is a fancy one, but they're like announcing the dogs as they come in.
Yeah, and I think that's so cool.
And even if it's a smaller one, like find that person.
And I talk about it like, hey, coming up on a ring 2, there's Nova Scotia Ducktail Retrievers.
I mean, that's hard because there's so many going on at the same time, though.
Did you know these dogs are known for the tallest scream and all of that jazz?
I feel like the
just
high-end
say something
ones,
like funny. I don't know. It could be made to be more of like a fun a show,
That's
right?
what it's called, a dog show.
Not like, oh, let's just run around like headless chickens and everyone just knows things.
But it's the same with like agility. Now, maybe only for higher end stuff. For the novice beginner stuff, don't do that because a lot of people.
Maybe it just needs more space.
Can I finish?
Okay, yeah, sure.
So even for agility, maybe like when they're at like the master level, have a thing being like, all right, up next we have Maple and her handler, Brian. Let's see how they do it. Like, and don't say it and like, wow, they completed the course in, 23 seconds. There was a little bit of a mix up at jump 4, but they figured it out. But you would say that
like
afterwards.
A sport event. Yeah. Where you have these
we wanted to do this. We talked about talking about a dog sports team, and that's what I said. I was like, there's something missing in the dog sport world, and maybe it's being too ambitious, but I think with the way the world is going, with how many people own dogs.
This is what happens with horse racing.
Yeah.
You have these commentators. You have
that's all
spectators.
Online. I think when you go watch a horse race in person, there's no commentator.
Really?
I think so, yeah. Because I've been before. Let us know. If horse racing and like greyhound racing, if that's still a thing, these like fancy races, do they have commentary in person? I don't think they do because the noise might distract things and dogs and people, and you have to like, I don't know.
It wouldn't be like loud or anything.
It would be a good idea. Part of me wants to like do it, but I got enough stuff to do. But you're right. Like, why does this not exist? So again, if you own a kennel club and you put on these shows,
but it would
find people that want to get involved. Find people because, like I said, I know nonprofit, a lot of people want to volunteer. As we said, you do it because you love dogs, you love the shows, you love the sports. Same with us. Like, if we didn't have the vendor when they were looking for volunteers in the agility ring, I was like, oh, man. I wish I can help, but like we have our booth I got to go like hang out at. Like, unfortunately, we paid a lot of money to be here. So, not just to compete, but to vendor. So, and I would have loved to just sit there and like, change polls, to be involved.
But that's the thing, like, because there's no promoting, it means that there's not really that many vendors. Because there's not really a lot of people that are aware that they can even do that. Yeah. And maybe, how you were saying about, it might distract and the noise and this and that. Well, maybe we just need a bigger space.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right?
Well, no, I guess that's like the microphone thing. But you don't. Because like at the end of the day, like the dog needs to be able to hear the handler. So I think like the live commentary in person, I don't think that's going to work. I think it has to be like kind of, you need to hear them say like, hey, come with me. People make their little sound effects and all of that. You need to be able to hear the judge when they're like, hey, do your walk, whatever they say to people.
I'm not saying we should be playing and blasting music, but like just a little bit of entertaining commentary would be nice.
I know on like the later on in the day, like not the first or second
because
day,
it's engaging.
They did eventually have like a speaker system, but it was very quiet. Like you would have had to be close to the thing.
Yeah.
Last year they did. Yeah. Last year the big one because they kept talking about the sponsors and all of that.
See, so it is possible.
So it is possible. They didn't go like in too much detail, but they were saying like, all right, everyone, like, we're going to be starting like Best in Show Puppy Edition. I don't know actually what it's called, or Best in Show will be starting in Ring 5. And again, it's like big moments to like let people know. Yeah. And that one had a lot of spectators.
Yeah.
That one was good. That one was paid. You had to pay. They had people like taking payments. And that's the thing. Like I'd pay to go see all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Because then it also gets you excited. Now you want to go home and try this with your dog. Oh, wow, rally obedience. That looks cool. Like, I think my dog, these jumps and tunnels, my dog loves to jump.
Yeah.
And you're going to find a class.
Yeah.
And then that's what and this is the point of this podcast and our business and everything is we want people to get involved with things with their dogs. And you won't get involved if you don't know it exists.
Yeah.
You go and see that little Shih Tzu or that
And the thing is, you will think it's stupid, and you will think it's like your dog is not interested, you are not interested, and you might think it's the most like money wasting thing ever. But when you're there and you're watching and you like with the community of people who are obsessed with this thing,
and your dog might actually have fun.
It like rubs off on you.
Oh,
and you're just
it's
like,
crazy.
This is great.
I know. And so that's kind of the point of this, is we wanted to kind of talk about dog shows from regular people, in the sense of we're not breeders, we're not rich snobby people, we're not retirees.
Yeah.
We are just your average millennials that work and
have a dog
that we love, that
we don't show,
that can sleep on the cat, literally sleeps in our bed with us, and we let her swim in the river and water, and we do tricks with her and fun stuff, and we do sports. But like this can be you too. You can go, and it just starts off by searching, if you're in Canada, just I guess to educate you on how to find out about them. There's a website called dogshow.ca. It's a bit confusing to understand a little bit, but just have a search. You can search for events. You can go by area, and then you can pick whether you're looking for agility or conformation, and it will show them and where they all are. And then you can see if you want to register. If you're in the US, I have no idea. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you know what it's called, please, I'm sure I can look it up, but I'll probably forget. But if I do forget, leave a comment.
Dogshow.com.
Maybe. Imagine that. I don't want to pull. I don't have my phone on me to check. I wish we had a producer in the background to be like, "Hey, Kevin, can you look up?"
Yeah, can you?
Some people on YouTube, they're like talking to somebody, but there's actually somebody there behind the camera. There's nobody there. Maple's right there. Maple, can you look up what the... She's like, what?
Okay, Dad, I will.
Yeah. So that's kind of, I don't know. What anything else we want to kind of explain or educate or tell people about dog shows?
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't even remember what we've talked about.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot of random things.
I think the biggest...
Well, the biggest thing is dog shows are not what people expect.
Yeah. Yes. They're meant for everybody.
If you are going to go to spectate at the dog show, make sure that you go to like a bigger kennel club.
Yeah.
So like a province-wide kennel club.
Or if, I don't know.
Not
it depends on where you went.
Moms and Pops Kennel Club, because you will be very disappointed.
And we don't want you to be put off with that.
So maybe that one's not too good to spectate at for sure. But anything bigger is definitely great.
If it's outdoor, it's probably bigger, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think an outdoor one could look bad or feel weird, in my opinion, even if it is small.
I don't know. It could be like on a parking lot. You never know.
Yeah, that's true. Outdoor in grass. Yeah. So I think that's a good takeaway of it's not what you think it is in a positive and negative way. As in the negative way is some of them are very small and dirty and what the hell am I doing in here? And some of them are and then at the same time, okay, these are very friendly and open to families and spectators, and they allow me, it's not a closed group kind of thing. So, take it both ways of going to see. So that's a good takeaway.
Yeah. And especially if you are looking to get a dog and you are not sure where to get one from, you are not sure about the breeders, or you're not sure what this dog's temperament is, you can go to dog shows and you can physically get involved and pet these dogs and talk to the people that own these dogs.
And you just go up to them and be like, hey, I was thinking of getting a Brittany, Can you where'd you get yours from? Are they good family companions or? Yeah. And someone might say, oh, my dog's not a pet. I don't know. And then be like, move on. Okay. Don't talk to that person. But it's the same thing. Or if you don't know what type, hey, I want a sporting dog. The thought of doing agility and all of this sounds like fun, but I don't know.
Well,
I don't want to, and so you go see the sporting group and be like, whoa, what the heck kind of dog is that?
Yeah. That's
might actually a perfect size dog for me. I want one of those.
That you never even seen or heard of before.
There's 400 plus.
And you might literally fall in love with that dog and be like, this is what I want.
Yeah, exactly. We were looking at the, we learned about the Finnish Laphound.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the heck is that? And we saw them and I was like, oh, these are
cute.
like really cute dogs. They're like, not very big. They're kind of like, I don't know how to explain. Fluffy, I could see, I was like, this would be a dog I would have never thought that I would have been interested in. Like, we're not getting one, but you know what I mean? Like, never even heard of it and we've been around in the dog world for a year and a half now. Never heard of that one until 2 days ago.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. There are so many dogs. Doesn't mean you'll see them all. Like this show had no Dalmatians. I don't think. Maybe I did see one.
Yeah, I did.
I guess.
But it's just great. I think to chat to people about their dogs. People love to talk about the dogs. Obviously, they know everything about that breed. So go to a dog show.
Exactly. And just remember, it's more than just showing your dog. There's sports that go on. And then I guess another takeaway of just something that we're hoping will change in the future is just kind of like modernizing dog shows in the sense of just like getting a fresh perspective, getting that promotional material, promotion, that marketing, that advertising.
Yeah.
Getting it more engaging.
Get some videos. Get maybe like the kennel can hire a team of photographers that can take pictures throughout the day and then have it posted on the kennel website. And maybe the kennel can actually sell these pictures.
If the kennel even has a website, that's probably the first problem. Have a website as a kennel club. Come on. Websites are so cheap and easy to make now.
Yeah.
Let's be serious. But not even that. But now you're making more people aware of your kennel club, which then now maybe if you do donation events, raffles. That's a thing. Tons of people want to, come in and get things to support. Now they know about you.
Yeah.
Now when they do get their dog, they're going to register with your kennel club.
Oh, I know. And we were at this dog show and they had raffles, I believe, but these raffles were honestly hidden in these dark, dingy corners. Yeah. You didn't even see them. They're not like displayed like, hey, check out these raffles. Come and support your local kennel club.
Yeah.
And just make an event out of it. Make it exciting. Make it so people want to be there. They want to support this community and support the idea of breeding healthy dogs and improving the breeds.
And
right?
even as a kennel club, I know they're looking for pet-related businesses, but I imagine if you are a kennel club that's just, and this might be a more medium-sized one that's in a city specific, find those local businesses. Find that car detailing place. These people have dogs. Their cars are probably messy. Yeah. Find those, whatever, you know what I mean? Like other local businesses that maybe they're not directly to do with dogs. That might just okay, you know what? We'll donate, $500, put a banner up. That's a sponsorship level. $500 literally can pay for a photographer for the day.
Yeah.
That easy. And then that photographer will also make sure there's photos of your banner as a business in the thing. And I think that's where the outdatedness comes from is people are not thinking, how can we not make money, but how can we grow this? How can we
grow?
How can we make sure the future carries this on?
Yeah.
Because that's the biggest thing. Unless you literally have kids and nobody's having kids anymore. You know what I mean? That's going to slowly die down and people having kids that will take over. How can you get strangers involved? And I mean, that's one of the point of this podcast.
Well, it's not. It's I like how you say, how can you get strangers involved? It's more about just building a really strong dog community.
Yes.
It's not about involving strangers or whatever.
I meant people that don't know. When I use the word stranger, it's just people that don't know about you. People that love dogs. People that have a corgi. That's their pet, but would love to do agility with.
Also, another thing that I think kennel clubs do wrong is relying too much on volunteers. Now, volunteering is great. People love to volunteer. However, let's be real.
Yes.
People want to get paid.
And so, okay, I'm going to fairness your statement. Sorry.
So we need to find a way to raise money to then invest it back into the kennel.
So I know some of the volunteers, they were getting food tickets. So they got lunch for free, which is kind of what you do sometimes. But you're right. So I remember in the agility ring when I was there with Maple and we were kind of waiting to start. And one of the people were kind of yelling, be hi, everyone, we need someone to, help to change the bar height when they in between like groups of heights of dogs, and nobody seemed. And she kind of got like annoyed. She's like, you know, we can't all just stand around and wait for our dogs to run. We need to help. And it was a bit of like very rude.
Mm.
And in this group of people that usually help a lot, they're like, we're running first. So like, we can't help. Like after we run, we'll help kind of thing. Like our dogs are all in that 20-inch height. So I got to get my dog ready kind of thing to do this run. And it was just very like, how dare you not help? How dare, and you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, but we're paying a lot of money to do these.
To be here, to run it.
To literally spend 25 seconds. Yeah. That's how long it took her in the ring. We paid $30 because we signed up on the day for 25 seconds.
Yeah.
I am ridiculous. Sorry if I'm a little bit occupied right now. Let me see if I have some time later on. But you're right. And so like the agility was like the
you can't rely on
Alberta Agility Association or something like that. And so it was like another organization, but it's like there
I
should
understand.
be way, like raise money.
Yeah.
Why did the agility not have sponsors?
Yeah.
Where were the displays for sponsors? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel maybe no one wants to take that initiative. No one wants to think.
Not paying a photographer, finding a photographer that wants to sponsor the event by giving photos for free, but they can have banners everywhere because they're pet photographers. All you pet photographers, because there's a lot of you out there, because I know we get a lot of applications. Why are you not offering your services for free? I know some of them do. We did speak to one that they just paid for her like hotel and stuff, but she like had to travel. But it's like, why are you not offering this for like free promotion? Especially because you're a local. Pet photography, you're local for the most part.
Yeah.
Why are you not offering to do photos for free and not just taking them, but giving them out for free? Like you said.
To the Kennel Club.
No offense, phones are getting really good.
Yeah.
Just, again, not as good, but they're getting there.
Yeah.
Depending on who's using them.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this as someone who literally did photography. Like, I understand.
Yeah.
I get it. It sucks sometimes.
Well, like, it's such a great marketing opportunity.
But like, why? Yeah, this is as, and so if you are listening to this and you are a part of a kennel club or you volunteer in kennel clubs, let them know. Be like, hey, what do you think about this? And if they're not open to it, well, they shouldn't be the chairman of the kennel club. They need to retire. Why would they not
be open for you
it's
offering
like you're literally
something for free for your own?
No, I meant like finding someone to promote, to market. I don't mean for the photography. I meant like finding that person or finding a way to pay people or something. I don't know whether it's little gifts or prizes or, you know what I mean? Flyball, for example, the team is the one who volunteers as their team, but the judges, people who judge don't get paid, but they get gifts from them. So everyone will like pitch in and get them. And like, cause the judges are always the same and everyone knows them. There's this one guy who always gets a Dairy Queen gift card because he loves Dairy Queen. It's like a $50 Dairy Queen gift card. And the other one always gets like a bottle. That's the thing. But it's something small. Like they're there because they love doing it.
Yeah.
But it's a nice thing to appreciate them for doing what they love as well. You know what I mean? Like we all don't need to get paid all this money. And it doesn't have to be hourly. You're like, oh, I need $25 an hour for me to be here. Like, get over yourself.
No, it's not 25. 25 now is minimum wage. What are you talking about?
It's 15, actually.
Well, I know, but like, I'm just saying.
But you're right. No, I just mean like finding ways to like reimburse all of these people that do help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
even if it's not monetary, but it's something that helps.
Yeah. And you can have that someone that helps all day, but then it's like when I run my dog, obviously find someone
because
to fill
it should really be give and take.
So they were saying, so this is a weird thing. So speaking of that, I'll give you a good example. So, because I got an email for the Can-Am Flyball tournament. So it's like the Canada American Flyball, the biggest one every year. We got an email that they're looking for workers, and they don't use the word volunteer. So they're like paid, but like weirdly paid. So they're looking for like one full-time thing where you get like, I think it's like $250 in like goods, like pet related things.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then they're looking for part-time people, and it says every like section or whatever you help out in, you get a ticket to go into a draw to win a few different prizes. So and so it's like, cool. You might get nothing.
Yeah.
But the more you help out, the more chances you will win these prizes. So it's another thing. It's like
motivational. That's so very clever.
Well, exactly. And so this is what the Flyball can. And again, this is the biggest one. And they probably have paid people there. But finding those things, it's like, hey, ask. And I know some vendors don't want to, but some vendors will donate something.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like if it's like, hey,
like
we want to raffle off something for all the volunteers. Can you donate something? Sure. That's great because you can have it for free. That's free promotion if they wear our shirts or whatever. You know what I mean? And why? Why are they not doing that? Why is the Kennel Club? We just thought of this as we're talking.
I feel like it's because they feel awkward asking vendors, especially since some vendors already sponsor their events.
I guess so. That's true.
And the smaller vendors pay the fee to be there. Yeah. So they already kind of put money into the Kennel Club, right? So maybe that is the reason why.
I guess that's true. Anyway, these are just brainstorming ideas. We're just ranting. That's what this episode's about. We just wanted to talk because we just came back from it. It was fresh in the mind.
Yeah. I'm like,
just some ideas.
I do love a dog show. Once a year, it's great to go, hang out with people, watch agility, do agility, spontaneously sign up for it.
Yeah. I mean, there you go. If you compete a lot, go to lots. You know what I mean? Like, just whatever. You don't have to go to one. But it's just as
like a standard person that doesn't know about it, it's just good to check out.
Yeah, and we will try to put out the word to get these kennel clubs to help promote it, so you, as the regular pet parent, can learn about them and find out about them. That's more than just Instagram.
Not to forget that dog shows, if you are allowed to bring your own dog in, it's great opportunity for your dog to be desensitized.
I don't think you are. You want to know why I don't think you are? Technically,
I think you are.
No. Do you want to know why?
Their dogs last time.
I know, but they were like people like in the industry. The reason why I don't think, if you have an aggressive or reactive dog,
well, they wouldn't be there.
No, people don't think. People just think that's what your dog does. You know the idiots that have the dogs and they go for a walk and they start to lunge at other dogs? Yeah. That's just what they do. If you did that to a show dog, you will get your head bitten off. I would be angry. If we were there showing Maple and a dog kind of lunged at her and scared her, I don't think you're actually allowed dogs.
Maybe you're right. I don't know.
I think the people that even bring puppies, they might do it because they're going to the puppy shows. Because you look at all the people that we saw last year that we know personally, none of them have their dogs. Not a single one of them. They don't. The only dog I remember was that little puppy in the stroller.
Oh, the Pomeranian.
No, it was a golden. Was it a
Pomeranian? Oh, yeah, the golden.
Because I've seen those girls around. There was this young girl. She's done like classes and all that. I think she might have been there with another dog, like competing.
Yeah.
And so she brought the puppy to desensitize them.
Yeah.
But I think to just bring your pet with you, I'm almost certain it's not allowed.
I'm not 100%
for safety
sure.
reasons. Why? Do you not think that would be really stupid to bring your dog?
No.
Yeah, it would, because you can't. So now you can't. No, because you can't get close to the ring.
They can't like interact together
at all. And if you want to sit, so you see all the people, they're sitting right along the little white fence with a ring. It's a short fence. You can't have a dog because some of those dogs get pretty close.
Yeah.
As they're doing the thing. If you have a dog that's like a little bit like vocal, how many times did you hear barking at the dog show? It's crazy.
You don't.
Rarely you would hear a dog bark. It's like you would hear one and be like, that's so weird. But most people's regular dogs do.
I guess.
They want it. So no, I am 99%
Unless you go to
sure.
like the agility rink and then you hear all the whining, like because the dogs want to go.
Yeah, that's something different though. That's just like dogs. But if you want to hear noises, go to Flyball. Oh my, it's the loudest thing ever.
Yeah.
Jeez, because it's indoor for the most part. But anyway, yeah, that's it. I don't think you can have dogs. I'm gonna.
You putting your foot down there.
I'm gonna put my foot down.
I think you're right. Actually,
yeah. It just seems very irresponsible.
Very.
Yeah. So, there you go.
Okay, we can.
Anyway, We'll end that part. But yeah, I think that's the point of it. I think, that was the point of this episode. Was just we're kind of unwinding from the weekend at the dog show. We had lots of thoughts, so we wanted to share that with everybody else.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think. Let us, if you've been to a dog show, what are your thoughts? That's something else we'd love to know.
We are thinking about showing a dog.
Well, that's what I said, yeah.
If we already talked about that or not.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I did say that a little bit at the start, but yeah. And it was something we never thought we would want to do.
No.
So that's the crazy thing. Go to an agility trial. Go to a rally obedience trial.
Just do it.
Check out a flyball tournament.
Yeah.
I can't stand when I hear people be like, oh, I would love to do something fun with my dog. Does anyone have recommendations? Or you even say like, oh, that seems interesting. Well, then come on out. And they don't show up.
Yeah.
Don't say that then.
I mean, any registered dog can do a dog show as long as they are registered with a kennel club, they are over 6 months old, and they don't have any disqualifying attributes for the breed.
Which you'd find out right away anyway.
Yeah. They're going to be like, no.
And then any dog can do agility.
Yeah.
Any dog can do, now depending on the agility organization, again, if it's like a AKC version of agility or CKC version, only purebred dogs can do. But if it's they have one, it's called AAC, which is Alberta Agility Club. And then I can't remember what it's that one. I think any dog can do. I don't know.
Mixed breeds and everything.
I think so. So, that's just the dog world is so interesting, and you should be involved. You have a dog for a reason.
Yeah.
You have a dog because you want to have someone to enjoy.
Just explore different things. Like, see how it goes. Take it easy. You might not like it. You might love it.
You might find a new hobby.
Yeah.
Or you might just make friends.
Yeah.
With people that have a similar dog as you.
Or you might think it's stupid to pay for someone's opinion.
Yes. And
some
people think that.
That's the thing. I don't know how I will feel about it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if I don't do it, I will never know.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna.
We'll try.
I think we just try. We'll just try. We'll do it.
We'll see.
And if I don't like it, I don't like it, and then I can feed back.
But it's the same with sports. We try sports, and if we don't like it, there's sports I don't really like. But you do. It's like I wouldn't pay to do that. You can. And you're like, sure. Just like I wouldn't want to do that. That's what you would say. But I'm like, I will.
Yeah. No, agility is way too confusing for me.
It's hard. We're beginners though. So, but it's fun.
Take it easy. Yeah.
So I think that's it for this episode. To wrap it up again, just find a local dog show, check it out, get involved.
And always support responsible breeders.
Yeah. And to all you kennel clubs and people who organize dog shows, let's get with the future. Get that promotion, that marketing. Find those young people, get those millennials, those Gen Zs involved.
Yeah, and that have a lot of ideas. They know how internet works.
They know the people that you're trying to bring in.
Yeah.
Because you have no idea. You have all these people that pay to show their dog, but you have no idea how much a spectator will bring in the long run.
Yeah.
Because kennel clubs, people are for life. Not for life, but 10 years. Getting a new member is not just a one-time thing. They will be a part of it for 10 years. I remember really quickly, actually. So when we wanted to do the agility thing with Maple, and they asked for height, and I didn't know. And this lady helped me. She's like, oh, we have to go to the main tent. We'll have to get the measuring thing. And she made a comment being like, oh, they're not going to be happy that I'm going to use this. And it just made me annoyed. I was like, and so I made a comment. I was like, I'm like the future of this sport.
Yeah.
I'm like, by treating me nicely and helping me out when I've never done this before, will make me want to come back.
Yeah.
Because, and she's like, oh, they won't be happy that I'm going to use this, because you should already know your dog's measurement or something like that. I'm like, I'm literally signing up for the day. I didn't know you needed to know their height.
Yeah. We literally had no idea what type of information you needed from me.
And so that's the point. And same thing. They're like, oh, we need all of their breeder information. And so he had it all in the computer. I was like, I don't remember my login.
Yeah.
The CKC. I'm like, can I see it? He's like, oh yeah, here. So he just brought it up on his laptop. Because I didn't know her parents' names.
Yeah.
You need that information. But that's the last point I want to make is if you are a volunteer, if you're an organizer, if you're a chairman, if you have someone new that might ask stupid questions, that they might need help them.
Help them
Because they
answer those
are
stupid
the
questions.
future of your kennel club, of this organization, of this world. And then they will tell someone, just like we're telling, like literally with this video over time, we'll get thousands, hundreds of thousands of views. I don't know. You know what I mean? Of people that we are telling the world to. And so I think that's a final thing of like, if you ask a question and you don't, if they're being a bit rude to you, don't take it personally. There's a lot of people. It's a very stressful environment sometimes. There's a lot going on. It's busy, but you know, just try to enjoy yourself. Yeah. While you're there. And that's it.
That's it for today.
So thanks for watching. Again, let us know if you've been to a dog show and what your thoughts are. If you like them, if you don't like them.
Yeah, like what do you think about dog shows? Like what is your opinion about it? Would you ever show your dog? Maybe you already show your dogs and you love it and you have a particular reason for it. Yeah. It'd be fun to explore that and to find out what is your take on it.
We'll need to find some guests that show dogs, like people that have been doing it for a long time. Yeah. Or like professional handlers or something. Yeah. I would love to interview people like that, actually. So we'll have an episode that goes deeper into confirmation, I guess. We'll find some confirmation experts or dog show experts one day once we find one. But if you know somebody, check our link tree. We have our application form in there. Yeah. But,
let's talk about we're obviously super open-minded. Like this episode is not meant to trash talk the dog show. We love a dog show. We are vendors. We support the dog shows.
We're literally trying to help them grow by talking about this.
But there is definitely room for improvement. Yes. And I think that's something we can all agree on. Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully. Unless you're really old school and stuck in your ways. But that's okay.
So I've been doing this for 50 years and it's always been the same. And it's like, okay, but the life has gone on and things have changed and let's do it something differently.
Exactly. Or just, do it better. It's not differently, do it better.
Yeah. Let's not reinvent the wheel completely, but just grow.
Yeah. Sure. We'll use that. That's the closing statement. Just grow.